I did want to start with something that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Not the steering wheel in me, Pence. Something that drives me nuts.
No.
I know, bad joke. That should drive everyone a little nuts is fake outrage. I'm sorry, as Big Mike said, do you mean faux outrage?
Faux outrage.
Yeah,
Oh, who said that?
Mike, who runs this place?
Big Mike, the bear.
Was he eating a croissant at the time?
Dr. Love.
Never heard of him.
Fake outrage. I just want to remind everyone, it doesn't have to only do with politics. It crosses over into sports, media, entertainment, music. There are times where you see headlines where you're assuming, man, everyone must be really upset about this.
Well, there's so many headlines that grab your attention, and the key word is usually outrage. and you
outraged.
always have to ask yourself, wait a second, who's outraged?
clickbait.
People are outraged. It's like, well, who?
Yeah, but our dumb instinct is to be like, ooh, people are outraged.
Maybe there's a
Always-
few on social media, but is there really a huge outrage that's always described in the headlines?
But of all the things, I don't know why it bothers me so much when people label things as outrage, because 99% of the time, no one really cares.
No.
There's a headline today.
There's been so many stories like that. Too many, and some touchy ones. If you want to talk about them, fine. Because some of these stories, I understand some of them are maybe wrong and people were mad, but were people really outraged the way social media and the news made it out to be? I don't know.
You know, it gets people to click.
Yeah, for sure.
But this one headline, Commanders head coach Dan Quinn sets off wildfire of rage. Wildfire of rage.
Wow.
After
That's next
wearing
level.
a vintage T-shirt that references the Redskins. Another headline.
Well, hold on. Let's describe the shirt. Dan Quinn is wearing a Commander shirt, but over the W logo for Washington Commanders, there's two feathers to pay homage to the former team known as the Redskins, the Washington Redskins. So it's just an unofficial shirt that he's wearing, and the Commanders organization were like, yeah, we had nothing to do with this. He chose that on his own. It's not official NFL merch, and he's just wearing some cool T-shirt. Now, is it cool or is it outrageous?
That's my point. My
is it
point
a
is,
wildfire of rage or kind of cool? I don't know.
My point is, I've seen every headline talking about how people are outraged or people are mad, and I just got to ask the simple question: who? Because I saw the shirt, and my first thought was, oh, it's a Commander shirt with a little tribute to the Redskins' heritage.
I mean, she's two feathers.
Yeah,
Hey.
just
Yeah,
two feathers.
It's too bad. And my first thought was, believe it or not, Danny G, my first thought was, cool shirt.
Yeah, me too. Easily available on the internet right here. I sent that to you guys. And the thing that we were talking about in our pre-show meeting was, how come the Chiefs and the Braves fans still get to do the tomahawk chop and keep their nicknames? And Mike, who runs this place, somebody say who for me.
Spell that.
He was telling us that it was about the skin color, because red skin, so take that away. And we said, okay, so if the nickname offended some people, then couldn't they have just kept the Redskins logo and changed the name? Could have been like the commanding chief and kept the logo.
They're, exactly. So I see this shirt. My first thought is,
Cool.
oh, if I'm a Commanders fan, formerly Redskins fan, I'm thinking, wow, that's a damn cool shirt. Meanwhile, everyone's like, rage. And my question will always be, says who? Rage who?
Says
who
who?
is upset?
Says who?
Who is upset?
That's what you got to
They.
ask yourself all the time.
I am outraged.
Who's really mad at this? When you see, I don't know, cartoon characters get canceled or some
Pepe
sort
Le
of-
Pew is
Right. Oh, cartoon fans are outraged. You're like, well, who? Where are they? Like one maniac on social media who's causing a stink about it? Pun intended. Pepe Le Pew.
Stink.
Who's
Good one.
upset with this? So
It's like,
we ask.
Did the townspeople really want to kill the beast, or was it really just Gaston that was upset?
See?
Yeah, the rest were followers.
The rest were just
hold on.
followers.
Actually, you bring up one. Ironically, there was a story about a gay character in the live-action Beauty and the Beast. Remember? And there was outrage. It's like, was there anyone really outraged?
Do you know
Or-
anyone that was mad? Well, Josh Gad's character had a little twinkle in his eye, and they insinuated he might be a gay character. Who cares? But there was, quote, outrage.
People are outraged
I always
about
wonder.
the gay character in Beauty and the Beast. I don't know anyone, not one person that was outraged. Hey, did we notice? Did it cause speculation? Was it worthy of bringing up in an article? Sure. But outrage?
The word outrage drives me bananas.
So this is, by the way, this is a wildfire of outrage.
Yeah.
So this is next level. Is it a little slight? Is that how people are perceiving it? Like, I don't care what we're calling ourselves. I'm still acknowledging the fact that we're Redskins.
I think the fact that the new coach
I
has
think
a
that should be
connection
the
to the
logo, to be
heritage of the
honest.
team. To be honest, I saw it and I'm like, wow, what a cool way to pay homage without being disrespectful. The feather on the W
But
of the
maybe
Commanders?
it is being a little disrespectful.
Nah.
I mean, it's not, but maybe by doing it, you're saying a little nanny nanny poof poof.
Yeah, but again, who's mad about it?
Mike Florio fainted.
He's fell on the floor.
Hilarious,
But
man.
who? That's so.
I mean, if
always ask
anyone's
yourself.
gonna be outraged, it would have to be Native Americans. I mean, who else would be outraged by that?
But always
So you
ask
have
yourself.
to ask them: is that homage or is that a in your face sort of sneak diss? Think about it. I think it's just homage to, hey, we used to be the Redskins. We're not anymore. Here's homage to what we used to be without being disrespectful. Because it's not. I don't think there's really any disrespect there. It's just two feathers that coincide with the W of the Washington Commanders now. And again, the NFL and the Redskins, the Commanders, said that they have no affiliation, to this shirt.
You know why they
And
said
he chose
that,
it
though.
on his own.
They said that because of the outrage.
Yeah, to
the
no
wildfire
of outrage.
Just a reminder, whether it's politics, news, music, sports, you're always going to hear people throw around buzzwords, and one of those will always be people are outraged, and you got to ask yourself,
And
just
the
to
thing
wrap
is-
this up, you always have to
but
just ask
the
yourself,
outrage
who,
is
who?
never consistent. That's the thing. Like Danny G also brought up, how come the Braves and Chiefs are still doing the tomahawk chop? How's that okay? But the Redskins had to change their logo and everything else. We did speculate that, well, the fans do that, and you can't stop the fans. Yeah. But, it does go with the hypocrisy of what's okay and what's not, right? And what certain ethnicities are fair game and some aren't. Like, if we're going to change the way we do things, it has to be fair across the board then, right? That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
But either way, I didn't see this as a bad thing at all, but apparently the news is painting this as a wildfire of outrage. Now, if this is offensive to some people, that's fine. You're allowed to be offended, and everyone has different opinions. I'm just not seeing that right now unless you convince me otherwise.
But every hot button issue, let's be honest, there's a couple people.
just a way of getting our attention, I guess.
There's a couple people that find something wrong with it.
Can I give you another example?
Please do.
Well, this is by no means reference to the great Dan Byer, who has all of our late-breaking news.
So great.
But if you're watching CNN or something like that, or any news channel, they always have breaking. Like, I feel like we've overused breaking news. It's like, that's not really a breaking news headline. If you turn on CNN, it always says breaking news. Breaking news. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, come
100%.
on. That's not breaking news. So just
It's
like
broken
this,
news.
Yeah, it's
Been
like
broken for a while.
misuse of outrage. It's not outrage. Some people don't like it. There's not a whole army of people with signs of protest against it. No one's lighting anything on fire because they're outraged. Or there's no wildfire of outrage, that's for sure.
Maybe on Twitter somewhere.
Maybe there's a
That's
little
what this-
collective group on social media.
But
that's
again,
about it.
we do a lot of times feel this pressure to accommodate the one or two people that are upset about something. Like, you could be at your kid's school. Like, we had to cancel this event or something. It's like someone was offended. It's like, who?
It's the overuse of the word, man. Outraged. No one's outraged.
Offended.
It's not breaking news.
Outraged.
It's not.
Yeah.
No one's offended.
The definition is an extremely strong reaction of anger, shock, or indignation.
If you were Steve Harvey and you put on your big mustache and you're like, top 5 answers on the board, and you did a little survey and surveyed 100 people that were Washington Commander, formerly Redskins fans, what percentage of those people do you think would be mad about this shirt with a W and a feather on it? I'd say maybe 4 out of 100.
I think the ones,
Maybe.
I
the
think
majority
lower
of
than that.
Yeah.
the majority of those people, ironically, would not even be natives. That's the weird part about it. There's a funny ass video that went viral over Cinco de Mayo weekend. It was some gringo local, some white guy wearing all Mexican gear. Did you see that? He was wearing like a poncho, a sombrero, and a fake mustache. And he was going up to all these people. He's like, does my outfit offend you? And every Mexican guy was like, no, you look great. No, I love it. No, that's great. You look fantastic. And then it was all the other people that weren't Mexican that were offended by it, which is so odd.
How are you offended?
They're like, yeah, that's cultural appropriation, and yeah, that's not cool. You should take that off. Meanwhile, all the Mexican people were like, yeah, you look fantastic. So I don't know who's outraged rich, but again, if it bleeds, it leads, and we got to stop falling victim to stupid headlines like this. But unless, of course, like I said, you see it otherwise. Dan Quinn was wearing a Commanders t-shirt, an unofficial Commanders t-shirt, and it had 2 feathers on it. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's kind of cool.
In fact, I think most people
So
were
more
like,
cool,
that's kind of cool.
Or, ooh, is it cool? Or, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't see that much ooh.
I think this is where an organization like the Commanders needs to stand up to any supposed outragers and say, look, this can't offend you because we're not using the nickname any longer.
Yeah.
It's 2 feathers. Deal with it. That should be one of their official logos. I think it'd look cool on that shirt.
And remember the intent. Intent matters when we have these discussions, right? Fine, make the changes, make everything the right way. But was the intent to ever be, moving forward? I understand it's derogatory looking back, but we were viewing all of these logos as if they were warriors and strong.
None of us grew up thinking that was a slight to anybody.
No,
I didn't.
If you were a Brave or if you were a Cleveland Indian, and these were strong figures, and that's the way we perceived them, and that's why they were the logo. So I think intent does matter in a lot of these stories, in a lot of these cases.
So enjoy the rest of your day, and always remember, when you see words like offended and outrage, always ask yourself, before you get pulled into the stupidity yourself, ask yourself,
what's the intent? Who's outraged? All these things.
Who's upset?
Or are they just trying to get us to buy into some story?
Happens all the time.
Is it a story, or are they trying to make a story? That's the other thing, too. So Dan Quinn with the T-shirt that I'm sure a lot of people are looking up right now because they want to buy it.
It's going to be a hot T-shirt. I promise
Yeah.
you. I promise you.